Hey guys, this is RuRoniK95 here, and it is time for a movie review for this holiday season. Well, why not? Because today's December, though, because we got about 2 weeks left before Christmas. Today's movie review, I wanted to do something very special that I wanted to do, which I haven't thought of done before, which I haven't done until now. Today's movie review, we're going to be reviewing Elf, starring Will Ferrell. This movie was released originally on November 7th, 2003, I guess. Yeah, because this movie we'll get to the cast in just a moment as well. Because, well, why not? Because I wanted to do a movie review like this one, because, besides, it's the holidays, because Christmas is coming, though. Well, why not? So, let's start with the review on it, because this is Elf. The movie starts off on Christmas Eve, where a young baby who is in an orphanage, who notices Santa came with the leaving presents and all, and then the baby just crawls into Santa's bag of toys, and they brought him to from the orphanage back to the North Pole after Santa finished his work on how he brought the children to the presents as well, and they noticed something. It was a baby, and so they decided to adopt him because he originally came from the orphanage as well. So they named the newborn baby as Buddy. Until years going on, Buddy, who has now been raised by elves, and now he's fully grown as an adult, as played by Will Ferrell as well, because of how he wants to do his best, and he's in the North Pole, though, from the day he was originally raised in the orphanage as well, so that's how just got on quite well as how this goes, until he wanted to do his best of how he can test those toys, like when he's testing those Jack-in-the-Box toys, especially when he's in Santa's workshop, though. But then happens to him, because he thinks he refers to himself as a cotton-headed nitty-muggins as well, from what I understand as well, how this movie progresses, because he's not even a cotton-headed nitty-muggins, because he's just special of how his personality is, especially Ming Ming told Buddy. Ming Ming is played by Peter Billingsley, who is known for Ralphie in A Christmas Story, is in this movie. Yeah, because he wanted to know about how his real parents are. When Papa Elf, played by Bob Newhart, told Buddy as well that Buddy's father, Walter Hobbs, who's played by James Caan, works as a children's book publisher in the Empire State Building, which is known as Greenway Press as well. Because, Santa told that Buddy's father is on the naughty list because Walter Hobbs didn't care about anybody but himself due to the lack of selfishness as well. Especially of how... So, this leads up to Buddy to go out to New York City to search for his real father as well. So he has gone all the way from North Pole all the way through mountains and woods, and then he finally ends up to New York City, because he knows what it's like when he has first discovered New York City, when he was searching for his father, when he was going through places everywhere he can go as well. It wasn't long until he came to the Empire State Building as well, until he wants to see Walter Hobbs, especially because I bet he's working in Greenway Press. You guessed it, because that's how this goes as well. Yeah, because he wanted to see his father, like a visit and all, but Walter Hobbs thought that Buddy looked like he came from the North Pole, but yeah, especially of how he was wearing his elf outfit as well. And they wanted to know who sent him this Christmas gram, because Walter Hobbs declined it, which they thought that Buddy was a singing telegram. So they kicked Buddy the Elf out of the Empire State Building because they told him if he could work in gimbals until he first went into gimbals. It was his first time because he thought he would have been the perfect job for gimbals as well for how this goes until he met the unenthusiastic worker named Jovi, who was played by Zooey Deschanel in that movie. Although Buddy is played by Will Ferrell, who's known for Blades of Glory and Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, is in that movie as well. As well, because that's how things just go. If she could be Buddy's love interest, the character that she played in the movie as well. But that's how it was until closing time comes, and then he has to make the improvement for how he can do for gimbals as how it goes, particularly from how it seems, and then he completed all the Christmas decorations to give it a new look for gimbals. And then it wasn't long until how they wanted to notice of how he did this until the guy in a Santa costume comes for the kids to have a picture of him on Santa's lap. But then Buddy thinks it was the real Santa, but it wasn't. It was actually a guy in a Santa costume. The part where we'll get to the funny moments about it. And then that's how the commotion starts, and then he just yanks the fake beard off, and then it starts the commotion, fighting and all. When Buddy was saying this guy is a fake because he's not Santa Claus, yeah, that's how this goes until he got arrested, until he wanted Walter Hobbs to bail Buddy out of jail though, and that's how things is going quite well between how Buddy had just found his father Walter Hobbs as well, of how this goes in the movie Elf, as it seems. And then on top of this, that's how the part where the doctor's appointment part is how the thing that stings on between the thumb and his finger though, and that's how it was until he came for dinner though, especially if he can stay with his family in Walter Hobbs' apartment, especially if he asks Emily Hobbs, who is Walter Hobbs' wife, if there's corn and syrup, if there's sugar and syrup, because he has to put syrup in spaghetti though. That's how he is. After he chugs a gallon of Coca-Cola, because it's a 2-liter drink though. Till the next morning comes, he made all the spaghetti for breakfast, and then he says and for lunch, and then that's how wasn't long before Walter Hobbs went off to work at Greenway Press as well, because that's how he wanted to know the emergency part. But what Buddy has to call Walter on the phone though, as how it seems, particularly that's how he wanted, because he thought it was an emergency as well. And then Buddy, on the other hand, is that there was nothing, because he thought the furnace was evil though, but it was actually a radiator, and it just makes noise when it goes on, especially the conditioner thing as well. But everything's okay though, and that's how Buddy has to eat the spaghetti filled with sugar, with syrup and chocolates, candies, as well as Pop-Tarts, all until Fulton Greenway, who is played by Michael Lerner, who is known for Mayor Ebert from one of my favorite 90s guilty pleasure movies, Godzilla, in that one, of how the book was terrible, of how would have sucked, which is the Puppy and the Pigeon book, because the pages were missing on every book, as how it goes. Because he said he'll be back in town on Christmas Eve, the 24th, of how their plans for the new book as well. But things just goes on, and Buddy met Michael, which is Walter Hobbs' son, basically, which is his half-brother, though. Especially if he has to fight off the bullies in a snowball fight. yeah, that's how he said. My favorite part, and we'll get to that in just a moment, and that's how he, Michael Hobbs told Buddy, is where is he from? Because he knows that he was from the North Pole, though. But he was raised in an orphanage because, as you know, when Susan Wells gave Buddy away to the orphanage at the beginning of the film. We'll get to the story in this part in just a moment. And then that's how he met Jovi at the Gimbals. If he can go out on a date with her, though, like real food, not candy. That's how it was until Buddy and Michael found a Christmas tree that they found, so they brought it into the apartment. And that's how Emily wanted to tell Walter Hobbs if he could take Buddy to work in the Empire State Building. It's in like regular work clothes. The next day comes, which is on the 23rd of December, which is before Christmas Eve, though, because I think this is on December 23rd, when Walter Hobbs brings Buddy to the work in the Empire State Building, though, as it seems how it goes as well. And then how he wanted to see him, if he hasn't seen a mailroom, though, especially how, so he has to be in the mailroom because he thought it reminds him of Santa's workshop, but he thinks it smells like mushrooms, but everyone looks like they wanted to hurt him, like they wanted to beat him up, but they were not. They were busy doing their job in the mailroom when they're sorting mail from all over, including customs in general. So the team they wanted to hire her Miles Finch to bring him to Greenway Press, because when Walter Hobbs told them that Greenway's coming in on Christmas Eve, but the other guy and his partner Morris were brainstorming ideas what they come up with, which is a fantastic idea. If they could bring in Miles Finch to Greenway Press, because they say that he wrote more classics than Dr. Seuss as well, because they wanted to hire another writer named Miles Finch. When they were on the phone, because until I think Deborah told Walter Hobbs on the intercom that they have a problem in the mailroom because they were partying going on with the song "Whoop There It Is" when they're dancing, partying around in the mailroom as well, and that's how when Miles Finch said to Walter Hobbs, saying, "I'll be there tomorrow, 71 degrees," which is on Christmas Eve, though. And that's how it wasn't long before Jovi and Buddy were on a date together when they went to the place where they have a best cup of coffee, though, especially in this movie, how this seems. The next day, Christmas Eve comes, and Miles Finch arrived at Greenway Press because he is short. Because, Miles Finch is played by Peter Dinklage, who is known for the Game of Thrones series in that one. Because if they wanted to, how they got the ideas for how Miles Finch has his book to be having the process for his genius ideas, like of how these types of stories, like about a peach who lives on the farm, as how this goes as well. Of how what Walter Hobbs introduced Miles Finch into Greenway Press as well, because that's how he was psyched out of his mind as well. But then that wasn't long until Buddy came into Greenway Press, because he thought that Walter Hobbs had elves working there, but that sets off Miles Finch, because Miles Finch thought Buddy was hilarious. But then, because he thought when Buddy said, "Did Santa know? Do you left the workshop?" And then Miles Finch is like, we're all laughing our heads off. And then Buddy's like, "Did you have to borrow reindeer to get down here?" Yeah, I thought that scene was hilarious, though. Yeah, Miles Finch told Buddy he's got more action in a week than Buddy's entire life, because he's got houses in L.A., Paris, and Vail, one of them with a 70-inch plasma screen. And he told Buddy, "I suggest you wipe that stupid smile off your face before I come over there and smack it off. If you're feeling strong, my friend, call me Elf one more time." And then that's how he did to Buddy in this one. Like, and then Buddy was like, he's an angry elf. And that sets Miles Finch off and starts fighting with Buddy. Like the part where Buddy said to Miles Finch, he's like, look at you! And that part was hilarious. And then Miles Finch just did the back kick to Buddy. I mean, he just starts fighting because he's told Buddy. Yeah, and also in the deleted scene version, where Buddy the elf has bite Miles Finch in the hand, and Miles Finch was like, he bit me. That's only in the deleted scenes, and then that's how. Yeah, when Walter Hobbs said he thinks he's an elf, and then Miles Finch in the deleted scenes one, he's like, nobody bites Miles Finch, which is in the deleted scenes version. Buddy thinks that Miles Finch is a South Pole elf. That's how it wasn't long until Walter Hobbs loses his temper and he told Buddy to get out of his life when he disowned him. Until that was before Miles Finch's team told Walter Hobbs that they found Miles Finch's notebook that was found in the conference room at Greenway Press, which is his notebook, which is chock full of genius ideas, which is how they said about a peach that was lived on a farm. They thought it was more vulnerable than a peach as well, because they had to have the pitch coming. But that's how, when Buddy the elf has wrote an apology letter to his father Walter Hobbs on an etch and sketch thing, and then he just leaves the apartment in sadness because he felt heartbroken of how. But that's how Michael came. If Buddy is here, but he disappeared. But that was until when the press meeting comes, especially the meeting for the new book at Greenway Press comes, of how they wanted to picture it. But that's how Michael arrived, that Buddy left an apology note. But then, when Walter Hobbs told Greenway that they had to reschedule it, but Greenway was like, we don't have time to reschedule. I want to hear the damn thing. Soon you have to wait. And then that's how it was before Walter Hobbs quits his job. So he and Michael left Greenway Press. And then Mr. Greenway was like, you walked out of here. You're finished at Greenway. You're finished. That's how he yelled in that one. And then that's how Santa's sleigh crash landed in Central Park, though. Because Santa realized it was Buddy, because Santa's played by Ed Asner, who's in that movie as well. And that's how he wanted to know if he could help the naughty and nice list thing, especially when Walter Hobbs has apologized to Buddy the elf for forgiveness as for what he has done, especially of how ever since of his wrongdoings as well, especially how when Michael Hobbs wanted a skateboard, but it was actually a real Huff board, and he's like, how do you like them apples? And that wasn't long until the Central Park Rangers come in that part in the movie, and that's how they wanted to use the thing with the like a shooting rocket thing beneath the sleigh thing, Santa's sleigh hole. But then that's how Walter Hobbs told Santa, let me borrow your coat, but he said, but Mrs. Claus made them for me. But then Walter Hobbs disguised as Santa, but the Rangers didn't care because it was Walter Hobbs wearing it. Like he's Santa in disguise, and that's how Buddy has to help Santa with the sleigh, though, because Santa has put the Central Park Rangers on the naughty list, so they won't forgive him, because that's how it sets off the Central Park Rangers in that movie as well. And on top of this, and that's how Jovi, who saw it on the news, that they noticed like a hoax about how they noticed something happening in Central Park, though. And that's how everyone sings Santa Claus is coming to town. And that's how until the sleigh just went up and higher in altitude, like how he saved Christmas as well. And that's how it was until Walter Hobbs started the independent publishing company. The book written was Elf as well. And that's how we got to how the story progresses as well. And the part where Jovi and Buddy the elf were at the North Pole and they got married and they had a children, and that's how you end this movie. So that's my story for this movie. I thought the story was great. The humor was hilarious. There's some good moments in it included, though. Because I thought, the part where... My favorite part in the movie Elf is where he said to the fake Santa guy at Gimbals, where he's like, "You stink. You smell like beef and cheese. You don't smell like Santa." Because I thought that scene was hilarious, though, as well. The characters, we all know that they are what appeared in this movie, though. The story was good. I mean, the humor was hilarious, though, but there's some moments in it as well. And the music is good. They put every use of Christmas music of how they put in the movie Elf as how it goes by as well. It has to have a lot to do for this holiday as well. Yeah, and the sound is good, though. The overall for this movie, if you ever want to watch a good underrated Christmas movie, Elf is the perfect example of watching a Christmas movie as you should start with as well for this holiday season, though, from what I understand as well. Yeah, because I think, in my opinion, this movie is a lot better than Deck the Halls with Danny DeVito and Matthew Broderick, but Elf with Will Ferrell is my favorite because I thought this movie was pretty good. I watched this, I thought it was pretty good, though, and my score for the movie Elf, I'm just going to give it a 10 out of 10, especially for the movie Elf. Because, well, why not? Because I haven't done a review on this movie before. Because, well, why not? Because I consider this movie to be my all-time favorite holiday classic, though, as well. Yeah, even though I have the movie on DVD, though. Because, the cast on there, this includes Peter Billingsley, who's known for Ralphie in A Christmas Story. He's in this movie, though. And also, the other actor who played the other elf who said to Buddy, "Are you okay, Buddy? You don't look so good." He's played by David Paul Groove, who is known for the voice as Johnny 2x4 from one of my favorite Cartoon Network series, Ed, Edd and Eddy, which is in that movie also. And also you had, like I said, Michael Lerner, who plays Fulton Greenway, who is in the movie, because he's known for the role as Mayor Ebert from one of my favorite 90s guilty pleasure movies, Godzilla, which is in this movie, because this movie takes place in the setting in New York, though. I mean, the production was pretty good, because I thought it was well done, especially for how this movie was released on November 2003, though, because I thought this is a perfect good Christmas movie to watch for every holiday season, though, because, well, why not? Because this is a pretty good Christmas movie. The enjoyment, I really loved it, because I find this movie very traditional for a good Christmas movie, though. If you have never seen this movie, if you want to watch a traditional Christmas movie, get it, because I hope if you watch it on DVD, though, because this movie is a lot meant for me for the movie Elf. Because my score for this movie is just a 10 out of 10, though, from what I understand. So that's going to be it for my movie review on Elf for today's movie review, guys. Thank you for watching, but before we go, here's what I'm going to say for this one. Well, this is the first time I'm going to do a movie review on Elf for the very first time here, because, well, why not? Because it's a perfect time to do a movie review on here for this holiday season, because, well, why not? Just like I have been looking back on reviewing the other previous Christmas movies I reviewed, such as Home Alone 1 and 2 and The Santa Claus of Tim Allen, this is the first time I wanted to review the movie Elf, which it'll definitely take the cake, though, for this holiday season, though. Hope subscribe for content. My Anime Planet link in the description down below. You share this video on your Twitter, Facebook. If you have a Twitter and Facebook account, and all social media, smack the like button if you enjoyed this video. Feel free to leave in the comments section below in this video also as well. Be sure to leave in the comments of what are your thoughts on the movie Elf. Let me know in the comments as well. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, RuRoniK95. Feel free to join my channel, especially if you're new to my channel as a newcomer. Smack the notifications bell button. Be sure to get notified as well. This is the first time I'm going to do a movie review, especially like this one, for today's holiday season. This is RuRoniK95 saying thank you for watching my video. I'm glad you liked it. I hope you enjoy it. Hope to see you soon for the next video. Hope you have a great day. This is RuRoniK95 signing off. Thank you for watching my video, and I will see you soon for more videos.